Shooting is probably the most important skill in basketball right now. The ability to shoot the ball from any distance spreads the defense and opens up lanes for other players to score. Shooting doesn't require elite bounce or size, reducing the risk for injury and extending the careers of numerous players way past their athletic prime. When you think of the best shooters ever, the obvious names come up: Curry, Miller, Allen, you name it. But back in the late 60s, long-range shooting wasn't really a focus in the NBA, as all shots were still only worth 2 points. And the league was also focused on big men who dominated inside. But in 1967, the American Basketball Association was created in order to test out ideas that would later be implemented in the NBA, such as the three-pointer, a 30-second shot clock, and the slam dunk contest. The ABA focused more on creativity and innovation, showcasing things that have never been seen before. As a result of the new three-point shot, offenses now had another way to score, so players who excelled at shooting flourished in the ABA. Louie Dampier was one of the first stars of the league and by far the best shooter in ABA history, making the most career three-pointers, while also leading the ABA in career points, games played, minutes played, and assists. His revolutionary shooting made him basketball's first three-point specialist. Welcome to PZ Hoops, and let's get down to it. Louie Dampier was a 6-foot point guard born on November 20th, 1944 in Indianapolis, Indiana. He played his high school ball at Southport High School, becoming a local star in a state that takes its basketball seriously. However, tragedy struck his personal life as his mom passed away from an unknown cause during his sophomore year. The passing of his mother brought him and his father even closer together, as they would babysit his nieces and nephews while Louie's siblings played in local bowling leagues. Unfortunately, tragedy struck again in Louie's life as at 18, his father passed away from stomach cancer. Louie's personality shifted from social and outgoing to inward and introverted, using his love for hoops to carry him through. Nicknamed Little Louie for his skinny build, he led his team to 2 city titles and averaged 24 points a game his senior year, also playing in the annual All-Star Game, featuring the top high school seniors from Indiana and Kentucky. Louie would commit to the University of Kentucky for both basketball and baseball. During that time, freshmen weren't allowed to play varsity sports, so Louie debuted as a sophomore, averaging 17 points and 5 rebounds on 51% shooting. While teaming with basketball legend Pat Riley, Kentucky would be known as Rupp's Runts, as the team didn't have a player taller than 6'5", undersized even for that time. Kentucky would make the national championship game in 1966, losing to Texas Western College, as this was the first ever all-black starting five to win an NCAA title. This game was extremely important socially, as it brought about the end of racial segregation in college basketball. Louie averaged 21 points and 5 assists on 43% shooting as a junior. His senior season offered similar production, with 21 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, and 2 assists on 49% shooting. He finished his Kentucky career as a 2-time All-American and a 3-time All-SEC selection. Louie was selected in the 4th round of the 1967 NBA draft by the Cincinnati Royals. He had a chance to team up with Oscar Robertson, but the NBA policy at the time led him to sign with the upstart ABA. "I was drafted by the Cincinnati Royals and they had tryouts," he recalled. "Even their number 1 pick had to come in and try out, more or less. And they didn't offer a contract without seeing the player. The Colonels in the ABA were offering contracts without any of that going on, so that's why I signed with the Colonels." The ABA was a new innovative league created in 1967 that would introduce several elements of the game we all know today. And the three-point line was the newest addition. The line was 22 feet 3 inches in the corners and 23 feet 9 inches at the top of the key. As a rookie in the ABA, Louie averaged 21 points a game, 4.6 rebounds, and 3.6 assists, shooting 42% from the field and only 27% from 3 on only 2 attempts. Louie wasn't quite comfortable with the distance of the line yet, as he often took long twos in order to avoid taking a bad shot. As a guard-centered league, the ABA allowed players like Dampier to take a majority of the shots on offense, as he shot 20 times a game as a rookie. Louie was also named an All-Star, and his Kentucky Colonels lost to the Minnesota Muskies in the 2nd round. Darrell Carrier, another sharpshooting guard, joined the Colonels in 1968, and along with Dampier formed the most explosive backcourt in the ABA during its first 3 seasons. Coach Gene Rhodes decided to run the offense through his 2 guards, and they delivered. Dampier's sophomore season saw him take an even bigger role offensively, leading the league in minutes. He averaged 25 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds on 42% shooting from the field and 36% from 3, shooting 7 of them a game. Carrier averaged 23 points a game, and both guards were named to the All-Star team, as the Colonels would lose in the 2nd round to the Indiana Pacers. Louie's third season was his best individually as he averaged 26 points a game, 4 assists, and 5.5 rebounds on 40% shooting and 36% from 3 on 7 attempts. He finished 6th in MVP voting as he and Carrier made the All-Star team again, losing to the Indiana Pacers in the conference finals. In 1970, the Colonels signed Dan Issel, a 6'9 center who also played at Kentucky like Dampier. Louie took a back seat to Issel as his offensive game was extremely rare for a big man during that time. Louie's scoring dipped to just 18.5 points, but his shooting percentage jumped up to 42% as he wasn't asked to carry the offensive load like he was before. Issel averaged a league-leading 30 points a game along with 13 rebounds, winning the Rookie of the Year, finishing 4th in MVP voting, and becoming an All-Star. He also helped the Colonels make the ABA Finals. However, they would lose in 7 games to the Utah Stars. In 1971, the Colonels signed center Artis Gilmore from Jacksonville University. He had unique size at 7'2", and was extremely athletic for his position. Artis dominated the ABA from the start, averaging 24 points, 18 rebounds, and 5 blocks a game, winning league MVP as a rookie. Dampier made an ABA record 57 consecutive free throws during this season. Over the next 4 seasons, Louie's scoring hovered around 16 to 18 points a game as Issel and Gilmore cemented themselves as one of the best frontcourt duos in the league. Louie would be an all-star in all 4 of those seasons, leading the league in three-point percentage in 1974. However, for some reason, he stopped shooting as many threes as he used to, only averaging 2 attempts a game in his 7th season. By 1975, the Colonels were one of the best teams in the league at 58-26, only trailing the 65-19 Denver Nuggets. They blazed to the playoffs, only losing 3 games in total en route to an ABA championship, beating the Pacers in 5 games. Artis Gilmore was the finals MVP, averaging 25 points and 21 rebounds. Issel was traded to the Memphis Sounds, then to the Denver Nuggets after the season. After the 1976 season, many teams in the ABA folded as the league was struggling financially, leading to a merger with the NBA. The Kentucky Colonels, along with the St. Louis Spirits, were the only 2 ABA teams that weren't included in the merger, so its players were free to be selected in a dispersal draft by the 18 NBA teams along with 4 ABA teams, the Denver Nuggets, Indiana Pacers, New York Nets, and the San Antonio Spurs. Artis Gilmore was the first pick by the Chicago Bulls in the draft. The Denver Nuggets, who already had Issel in the ABA, would have him in the NBA as well. Louie was selected 10th by the San Antonio Spurs, but he was now 32, coming into a team with 2 established young stars, Larry Keenan and George Gervin. Louie was mostly used as a role player during his time in the NBA, averaging 7 points in 3 seasons before retiring in 1979. Louie was one of the first stars in the ABA and had cemented his legacy in that league. He revolutionized the three-point shot, making 500 threes in his first 3 seasons. He made 794 threes over 9 seasons in the ABA, over 300 more than the second best player. His 199 threes in 1969 wouldn't be broken until John Stark surpassed that total in 1995. Louie was a 7-time ABA All-Star, 4-time All-ABA selection, and an ABA champion in 1975. He ranks 1st all-time in the ABA in games played, minutes played, points, and assists, and was also named to the ABA All-Time Team. Louie would later serve as an assistant coach for the Denver Nuggets during the early 2000s. 36 years after his retirement in 2015, Louie was finally enshrined in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Not much is known about his current activities, but it's safe to say that Louie Dampier changed the game and deserves his credit. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the support on the first video as well. Leave a like, hit that subscribe button, turn on my post notifications. Let me know who else you want me to cover. Thank you so much for the support. I'm out. Peace.